Hi, as you can tell from the title, this is like my end of year wrap up, quote unquote. It's basically like the books I DNF, the books I read, what rating I gave them, all that. I'm also gonna I was gonna give some like, you know, stats if I could, but I'm not 100% sure how stats work on Storygraph. So yeah, that's gonna be a thing. So I'm going to start with my DNFs. So DNFs. These are the books that I started and at some time stopped this year. So the first one is Red, White, and Royal Blue. That is the first book I DNF'd this year, and it was January 12th, 2025. Did I have a reason? Oh, okay, I did have a reason. I finished at 48% because, like, I feel like they gloss over so much, and I would like more in-depth conversations with the two main characters. So I felt like a lot of it was like yeah, what I said in there. The second book I DNF before I let go, and I stopped at like February. I messed something up, so it doesn't really say anymore. And I think I got about, it says, no, let's see, I got about 23% into it. That's what it says. Yeah, there it is. Okay, February 23rd. I got about 23% of it. It was just too emotionally draining for me at the time. And so I just couldn't finish it. The next book I DNF'd was on August 10th, and it's From Blood and Ash. And then I remember why I DNF'd this book. But this is what I put. I got about 19% in. It says the book is giving me highs of how slow it is going. It was rough out there. And I think that same day, I also DNF'd Delilah Green Doesn't Care, August 10th, 2025. I got about 21% of the way through, just wasn't vibing in it like I wanted to. I misspelled two, apparently. And then in October 14th, 2025, I DNF'd King of Wrath. Got about 32% of the way through it, and I just couldn't get into it. And maybe I can come back to it one day, but I just couldn't get into it. On November 3rd, 2025, I DNF'd Caravel. I got about 33% of the way through. And let me see what I put. And like King of Wrath, I just couldn't get into it. I've come to the conclusion that I don't like Stephanie Garber's writing because I think here, there's like a stack here, but I'll show you in a minute. Oh, I guess I do have the physical copy of Caravel, don't I? Whatever. The next book I DNF'd was November 28th, 2025. God, I have 7 DNFs. Wow. This whole year. I got about 9% of the way through this book. It's This Princess Kills Monsters. And it's a good story. It's very well written. It just wasn't for me. And that's my problem with it. The 8th book I DNF'd, but I started listening to Once Upon a Broken Heart on audiobook, I think. I could give less of a crap about this character. Like, I just could care less about this whole thing. And I think I got to chapter 2 and I was just like, I hate this. I don't get why it's so hyped. It could be because like I'm getting older and this is young adult, but I could care less. So that was the last book I DNF'd of 2025. So in total, I have DNF'd 8 books this year, which is kind of a lot for me because like my goal was 12 books to read. So yeah. All right. So the first book I read of 2025 and finished was Her Soul to Take by Harley LaRoe. I gave it a, let's do it this way. I gave it a 4.5 stars, and I think this was for a book club. So this was my first read of the year, and I finished it, and I gave it 4.5 out of 5 stars. I really liked it from what I remember. Let me see if I have a review. Nope, no review. No words in my review, at least. I really did like it. I thought it was good. So yeah, this was the first book I finished. 4.5 stars out of 5. The next book, which I don't have anymore, is The Shadows Between Us. I think I started that back in like 2024, beginning of last year. Let me see. It does not say. Okay, cool, I guess. Whatever that says, it's wrong, but I think I started it early 2025 and didn't finish it till January, I guess. Or I started it early 2024 and didn't finish it till January this year, and I gave it a 3.5 out of 5 stars. So I thought it was okay. I don't think I would read the sequel though, because I don't care for that. But maybe one day I'll pick it up. I doubt it though. The next book I read this year was Milk and Honey by Whoopi Kaur, I think. I gave it a 3.75 out of 5 stars. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, this is the book that almost made me cry in the middle of a half price book. So I think it was this one. I'm pretty sure it's this one because I also got another one of her poetry books, which is The Sun and Her Flower or something like that. But this is the third book I read. 3.75 out of 5 stars. It was pretty good from what I remember. I think this is more like a memoir too. I can't remember, but I know it's poetry. And I'm not like big into poetry, but I actually like this. So there's that. The next book, which is my first 5-star of the year, actually, was Don't Let the Forest In. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars, and I finished this April 17th, 2025. I listened to the audiobook, but then I grabbed the physical copy because I loved it so much. But yeah, I think this is a pretty edition, like whatever this. But yeah, I grabbed it. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. I absolutely loved it. So I'm actually excited to start their other book, Hazelthorn. So I'm excited to start that. And I think there's a Thomas's point of view for Don't Let the Forest In. I'm excited. I want to read it. The next book, which I finished on April 22nd, which was a few days after Don't Let the Forest In, I finished Heartstopper 2, 4.25 stars. I think I read the first one last year or the year before. But the problem was I hadn't picked it up since the first volume, and like I picked it up one day and I was like, I can read this in a few minutes because I'm really behind on my reading goal. So I did. Anyway, next book I read was Her Soul for Revenge. I gave it a 4.5 out of 5 stars. I really liked this and how it explored trauma in a sense, because like I've been through my own trauma, and I love Juniper as a character. So maybe that's why it's so hard for me to get into the next book, because I don't think anyone could top Juniper as a character because she's just so headstrong, and I love a good headstrong female character, main character, but we'll see. I'm trying to get into the last book so I can finish this, you know? So it'd be nice to finish this series. Anyways, the next book I got, or finished, it was my second 5-star read. And I think it was in a vlog, I want to say. I think it was in the first TBR jar vlog I made. But the next 5-star book I had this year was First Time Caller. It was so adorable. I loved their banter. I loved everything about this book. And it was just so perfect, and they were so cute, and I love them. I love them, and I'm excited for the sequel. Very excited for the sequel. And I think the sequel's about Jackson, who's mentioned in this book. So excited. Alright. The next book, which is also in that same vlog from First Time Caller, is Scream for Us by Molly Doyle. I don't have the physical copy anymore. I gave it 2 stars. Read by, like, really bad Wattpad fiction. That's all I can say. Alright. After Scream for Us, I finally finished Book Lovers, the audiobook, because I was already having fun with the audiobook. I think I started that beginning of January, but I didn't finish it till like August. And I gave it 3.5 out of 5 stars. It's not that I hated the book. it just didn't live up to the hype, in my opinion, if that makes sense. Like, everyone's, and their brother, mother, whatever, was like raving about this book, and I'm like, it's okay, it's decent, it's a decent love story. After Book Lovers, yeah, after Book Lovers, I was hospitalized for a little bit, and I finally, like, I mentioned this in the vlog, but I finally I mentioned this in the vlog, but I finally finished Mockingjay, which concluded the Hunger Games part 1 and part 2 of the Hunger Games blog, plus watching the movies. Now all I have to read is Ballad of Songbird and Snakes, Sunrise and the Reaping part 3 will be out, and the Hunger Games saga will be ending. Which I don't know if any of you have seen the poll on my channel, but there's a poll for you to pick the next big 2010, early 2010s book. I think it's between Twilight, Divergent, Ashfall, and another one I can't remember. But yeah, I gave this 3.5 out of 5 stars. It wasn't terrible, but I don't think it lived up to the hype. But I can see why this would apply to today in a sense. Like, I can see some similarities about like the propos and all that. It's a good book. Like, it's a good series, I feel like. It's just not my favorite. And maybe because it reads young adult, I don't know. But it was a good book. 3.5 out of 5 stars. While I was still in the hospital, I picked up the 3rd volume for Heartstopper. This one, I think I gave it a 4 compared to the other one. No, this one is actually rated lower. And I think it's because of the mention. Maybe, hold on, let me look. Is this what I... Yeah, because of the mention of, like, Charlie's, I'm gonna say it in simple terms, Charlie's Ed, it just kind of, I don't know. It didn't make me hate it, but I think it's bringing awareness to it and all that, but, like, it was a much more heavier book, I feel like, than the first 2, which I'm okay with. It's just, it was a little bit more heavier in topic, which I'm okay with, but, like, at the time, I probably shouldn't have been reading it. But it was a good book. 4 stars out of 5. After I got out of the hospital, and I think this is in the vlog that's coming after this because I'm almost done with it. Basically, in a sense. I mean, there might be one more book I'm going to try and read before the end of the year for that vlog, because I do want to get that vlog up before the end of December. So there might be one more book added to this. Not 100% sure. If it is, I will somehow tell you guys in a video, whatever. Anyways, but yeah, I don't know why I went on that rant. But anyways, I think it was because I was picking up the next book and it's for a video that I started, and like the video is so chaotic. I'm not gonna lie to you. The video was really chaotic. It first started off as TBR jar picking. Lost my TBR jar. Then it was like a reading till I find a 5 stars. Found a 5-star book, second book. So it's a mood reading vlog, which I'm fine with. It's very chaotic. Anyways, after Heartstopper Volume 3, I read The Fae Princess, which ends a series I'm in the middle of, which is The Vicious Lost Boys. I think there's a spin-off called Devourer of Men, which is about Rock's story, I think. Still need to get it and read it. But this is what I picked up next after Heartstopper Volume 3. And then I gave this 4.25 out of 5 stars. It was a bittersweet ending. Like, I'm happy about the ending, but I'm like sad that these characters are gone, in a sense. So, yeah. And it was a really quick read. Loved it. And then, like I mentioned before, that blog that will come out either after this video or end of December, something. It was supposed to be a TBR jar. Lost my TBR jar in the move. It was supposed to be a I lost my train of thought. It's supposed to be a reading until I find a 5-star, but guess what? I found a 5-star in the second book. So I finished the audiobook for Lights Out. I had a physical copy, but everyone raved about the audiobook. So I got the audiobook. I gave this a 5 stars because I think the audiobook was well done. I was laughing out loud. I was kikiing, ha-haing. I was having a fun time with this book for it being dark romance. Like, I loved it. I loved every bit of this book, which is weird because sometimes I think dark romances, like, you don't sit there and laugh out loud at them, you know? But I was having a blast with this. So 5 stars. So yeah, those are all the books I read this year. In total, I have read 13 books, possibly 14. I think I did this last year where I was like, oh, I might read another book. And I did. And I never told you guys, like, the rating or anything. And I never got to it. But I think in this video, I think this time, I'm going to try and finish that vlog before I post this. This is like a pre-filming thing. But it's fine. You know, sometimes you just gotta pre-film, you know? I lost my train of thought again. But yeah, that is kind of the video that's kind of the video. This is all the books I read this year, plus a few more that I don't have physical copies of. All in all, I think I had a good reading year because last year I read 10 books. I think I technically read 11, but this year I read 13, almost 14 books. And I'm kind of proud of myself for that. Now in my brain, I'm like, I'm going to put down 12 books, but in reality, I want 24. No, that wasn't sustainable, especially for my brain and my job and my mental health. But I'm hoping next year to maybe up it to 14 or 13. I don't know. Because I did get 13 books read this year. This year. Hoping to up it next year. Like, up the number of books I read. But it also, like, I know how my brain works. And, like, I don't want to feel obligated to read because of the goal. I want to feel like I want to read because I want to read. You know? Anyway. Stack of books. Oh, that was heavy. Okay, anyways. Yeah. Oh, we didn't go over mine. I forgot a part of this. Where are my goals? Okay. Pause. This is not the end of the video. This is so all over the place, but my brain's not here. So I had reading goals at the beginning of 2025. Had to think about that for a second. Wow. Okay. So I have 4 goals here. I read, number 1 goal, read 12 books in 2025. Done. Did it. Finished 3 series I started. Let me look. I don't think I finished any of them. Well, let me see. I think, if anything, I started more series. Yeah. That's a nope. Vlog, reading more, 1 vid a month. And I know there were 2 months, I think June and October, I didn't post a video. So that was kind of that. I mean, I did pretty well besides June and October, because October I was in the hospital. In June, I think we were just super busy with my markets. So, and so I feel like I made that goal in a sense, but at the same time I understand if, like, you don't count it or whatever. And then the last goal was to read 1 thriller or horror book, which I did. I did read, I think it's young adult horror, but it's still horror. I still count it. That goal has been made. So, goal made. So yeah, out of the 4 goals I have, I did 2.5 out of the 4. So I think that's pretty good. But yeah, I don't have really much else to say. Next video will be my 2026 goals and all that, and I'm excited to share those with you guys because I feel like I have bigger and better goals for reading for 2026 just because just because I want to put more effort in my YouTube. And so like this was kind of just like the start of me trying to get into more reading. Like I just wanted to like kind of dip my toes a little bit. And I know I've been doing booktube since about 2023, but I think this year, like this coming year, I really want to lock down, make a schedule, be able to post videos for you guys regularly. So yeah, super excited for this next year. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like, comment, share, subscribe, do all that jazz. And I hope to see you guys in the next video. Bye.